Okay, welcome to CPS WEBtips. Just to start out, everyone is on mute. If you do have questions, please type them into the question window and I will let Mike know. So Mike, if you want to go ahead, we're ready.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was on mute there. Good day and welcome to WEBtips. Today we're going to talk about BAPIs. Tell you a little bit about myself here. I've been a Winshuttle developer for about 8 years. I've been familiar with SAP probably for about 10 years. I've worked for military contractors most of my life. I have a programming background. I've used C, C#, VBNet, VBA, Visual Basic, JavaScript, Java. So I have a lot of experience in programming. I live in Natural Bridge, Virginia. A lot of CPS employees, we work all around the country, so I'm the Virginia location. My hobbies include photography. I have a Canon T3i, not a full frame camera, but it's actually a nice little camera. And also I like amateur radio. Call sign is WB4YNY. I like Morse code, and that's enough about me. So let's talk a little bit about BAPIs today, and hopefully you can take something home from the webinar that you've never used before, or maybe a new part of your toolbox that you can relate to. And then a BAPI is not something you're going to use every day, but when it comes in handy, it's about sometimes the only thing you can use. So the 3 reasons I have written down here: when a traditional transaction does not yield desired results.
Yeah, Mike, I'm sorry, I don't see your PowerPoint deck.
You don't see my PowerPoint? Oh, I'm sorry. Show screen. Okay. Screen monitor 2. You see it yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to go back a slide here. Okay, what I was going with there, why to use a BAPI. When the traditional transaction does not yield desired results, sometimes it takes a long time to develop, and you don't have a good solution. SAP works manual entry, but unable to duplicate with a transaction. I go back to why I initially created a BAPI. We had a customer that had a PO create form. He could create the ME21s, ME22s, which was a change BAPI or change PO. And we got a call one day, he's having trouble printing out POs. So normally, if he had a default PO with the default plant with no changes in the address, everything printed out correctly and would work fine. Same thing with the ME22, everything would work fine. But he had a thing on the form, actually a selection on the form, where he could ship delivery to addresses for different people or to have attention to different people when it came into the plant. So this failed. Single entry POs worked great, but the multiple items did not work at all. So he had some things he could do to make them work manually, and I tried to put that into the script itself. And sometimes that would work, sometimes it wouldn't. It always, I could sometimes get it work for ME21, but ME22 just seemed like I could never get the unique or a unique address to work correctly to the PO. So I spent a lot of time on this project. Matter of fact, 2 weekends that I was up to 1 or 2 o'clock every night trying to get this thing finished. I had other work to do during the week, so I was kind of crashing on the weekend trying to get this program to work. The first Monday I called Justin and said, "Gosh, Justin, I just can't get this thing to work." He said, "Well, keep working. I knew it was going to be a tough thing to do." So that after come the next weekend, "Justin, I'm not getting anywhere on this thing." And they said, "Have you tried a BAPI?" And I've created a couple of BAPIs before. I said, "No." I was so deep into the project itself, I could not even think about a BAPI. I just tried all these different things I would do, and once I created a BAPI, I had it working in 4 hours. So I just wanted to relate to you the little story behind that, and the reason I got into the BAPI itself. This is an example case of a PO. It's defaulted to a plant delivery address. No changes were made. We have no attention to. If you look at it's a PO print preview of the PO, and you see a please deliver to, and the address there. Our system is connected to a European model, and that's why you see the address as being in German. So so the next test I did, I did one PO item, and I had attention Justin bar, and this could be attention to anybody. You could change the address if you wanted to from the default, but this worked fine. It printed out fine. I had no problems. But once I got to 2 PO items, everything disappeared. Okay, PO printout delivery address with 2 PO items, no addresses shown. Okay, what happened to delivery address? Okay, this had me scratching my head for a while. So after a while, I went to query, and what I did, I went to check table EKPO, and this would be a very important table for you to use if once you're into this, and you want to find out any information about PO. This is the table to go to. So what I did, I took a look at the entered the PO number, which is the number on your left, and the item numbers, and you see that the manual address coming back is 2 different addresses. Even though the address was perfectly the same, everything exactly the same, the PO manual address, one came to 120, one came to 121. So that's when I noticed that happened. You could see no PO delivery address within the PO. So, and I would go more into details, all these programs. I would do a live live demo here in just a minute, but this is the sort of what the BAPI PO change looks like. And I will explain, you see 3 different headers here, and that's nothing complicated at all. You see the PO number, and once I run this, you notice that in the PO manual address, you see they're both the same now. And once I could do that, I could get my attention to work fine, and the delivery address would print out correctly. Okay, how to create a BAPI in Studio 11. This is what I originally did this in Studio 10. For this demo, I did it in Studio 11. It's much easier to do. The steps are less. It's more straightforward, and I think if you haven't used 11, you really like it. Because pretty much within the Direct Studio, you select New, and you create a script, and I select Direct. Then, after you get Direct, you want to create from BAPI. And I apologize if I'm going a little bit too fast. I need to slow down just a hair. On the right-hand side of the screen can be made for the BAPI in the case. We can do a search in the screen. Okay, you got hundreds of BAPIs, and what I needed to do a BAPI. I knew it was going to be a PO, and I knew the format, so I put a star after that, and I did a search. So what I wanted to use was BAPI PO change. Okay, after I selected that, hundreds of tables come up here, and don't be afraid of the tables. They're all unique tables, and you're only going to need a few, so don't let that throw you. One thing you do want to remember is this commit required. Reading on the BAPIs, I'm not a BAPI programmer, but lots of BAPIs do not have a save. and you have to have an external save for the BAPI to work. So that's what this checkbox is doing. I would always check this box, and that's the reason I put this in red. The program will run, but the PO will not be saved. Okay, there's 4 tables I used to set up for the delivery address. And the first was input structure, export to others. Okay, this is the first item I needed. I needed to know the purchase order number. So that was kind of ME22. That's the first thing you need. The next item I needed was, I'm changing the PO address, delivery. So I had to create the table. I had to check the fields I wanted to use. So you just check the fields you need. I had PO item. This is the item number, the PO, which is 10, 20, 30, whatever you have. The name 2. That's where I had the attention to Justin, the city, district, and et cetera. You can go down through the list. Anything you need for your delivery address. The third table I set up was PO item. Now this was an optional selection. I didn't have to have this, but I put this in to show you how to set up the headers. PO item is pretty much the 10, 20, 30, 40, the PO items. And if anything else you want to set up in the PO, if you want to change the short text or the material, you can do that. Fourth table was PO item X. The 2 fields I need to select here is PO item and PO item X. And when you map this X in the field, simply you put a static number. You don't have to map it. You just put an X, capital X in that. And if you're changing things for PO items, you need to also check these material numbers or whatever you're changing in that PO item. I didn't change any of that here. I just wanted to show you that you could do that. After entering the tables and fields, we go to the mapping expert view. Let me talk about that a little bit, and then we'll come back to this slide. Let me go back just a hair. Normally when you map, a lot of people map their log fields at the very end. What we try to do at CPS is actually to map the log column to column A. And the reason we do that is sometimes we're working with a customer, you're going to change fields, you go add new fields or delete fields, and your log field is popping back and forth to different spots, and you have to change that manually. So I found it easier, and as far as the company, we found it easier to always map the log field to column A. And that's the reason we do that. There are 3 loops shown in the expert field, and you can see we got a loop here, and a loop here. And don't let that throw you. That's a pretty simple little thing to set up. The 3 loops I have shown here, and you need to leave room for it in your mapping. Normally I do these first. You can do it any way that you find it easier for you, but normally I like to do the log field and do the 3 loop fields, and this makes it a lot simpler to set up. The loop is already set up for you. All you do is map it. The first loop I did is B, and it had a header and a data field. The second one I did is C, header 1, data 1, and D, header 2 and data 2. So if I go back to looking at the field here, you can see how I set up the map for these guys. You have a header, header 1, header 2. The only thing in the header field you're going to have is, for this particular one, is the PO number. And let me go back, PO number, and you need the line numbers you're using. I map the fields off to the right. I don't show that, but all the fields for the delivery address are off to the right. So I'm going to do a real quick demo here and show you a little bit what I have here. Give me just a second. I can drag this over, and this is Studio 11, and this makes it real easy for the demos we're doing. That you can just kind of switch back and forth. You don't have to load different programs up. Everything's within this one environment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create, the first thing I'm going to do is create a PO. So I'm going to use this program here I've already created. I'm going to erase all this data here. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a one-item PO. We go off to the right a little bit, and everything is set up pretty much default address, except for Justin Barr. I have him as the attention to. So this will work, and I'll show you that working like it is. I hit run. I want this to run only line 5. Okay, it's only running line 5. We'll run test. And sometimes this is very, very slow. Normally I try to get this running before that meeting, and it seemed like it sped up a little bit. The first time I run it is very, very slow, and after that it speeds up a little bit. And Tara, if you have some Jeopardy music, it might be good now.
Unfortunately, I do not have any of that. Does anyone have any questions so far? Doesn't look like it.
Okay. And this should finish here real soon. It's a little bit slow, but it will get through. And as in all demos, things never go like you want. I've been to a lot of Microsoft demos and Winshuttle demos, and always seems like something holds you up for a little bit, but I think this right now is just being slow, trying to be aggravating. Slowly on turn, step by step. Okay, come on. And essentially what this is going to do is just write a one-item PO. I will go back to SAP and look at the ME23N. I can see the printout. And with a one-item PO, the printout should be correct, no problems. Again, I apologize for this being a little bit slow. That before the demo is actually pretty fast.
That's how it always works.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show you, let me bring my SAP over, and while this thing is running up, show you where I look at the PO, and I have a ME23N. This is a print preview that you can do in your standard PO. You can see this is where I set up for Justin. These are two records. This one will probably look okay because I've run the BAPI on this one. Do a print preview here, and again, I guess with everything running here, my internet maybe has slowed down. I don't know. I have 20 megabits, so it should be plenty fast. Okay, here we go. This is what we want our delivery address to look like. And this is the problem that our customer had, that when you create multiple item POs, this would disappear. Back to the side here, run completed. Thank goodness. And okay, standard PO, create a number 30. Okay, let's go back and take a look at that just to verify there that we're looking okay. Copy. And bring SAP over. Go back. Okay, I'm going to load another PO up here. And this is the one we just ran. And we'll go print preview, and this should look fine. And it does. Looks good. Okay, I'm going to try a different demo, show you how this breaks. And I'm going to run these guys. I'm going to run lines 2 and 3. And this looks a little bit different than Studio 10, but this is really nice interface we have here. And it takes a little bit getting used to. It's slightly different, but I think you'll like it once you start playing with it. Again, this is acting a little slow, but we will get through it. Okay. We created a 2-item PO with number 31 here. I'm going to just copy this. Okay, we bring, taking a look at this PO. We can go back. Our new one. I'm just going to make that 31. And see if it took that. Hit OK. Now we'll go back and look at our print preview. Okay. We see our print preview is missing. There. It will show up under one item here, but not both. You see a little bit here, but it's not ready for both. So something is funky. Justin's not going to get his yogurt, so he's going to be upset. So we need to fix that. So let's go back. And let's go back to the, can we see that's wrong? Let's go back and just double check the, do a query here on the same item. And then we'll show you how the query works here. Again, we go to run. This is previous data here. I can leave that there. I can take that up if we need to, but what it's going to do is ask me for the PO number. So this is a PO we just created. And item number Well, I set that to is not null. And the reason I did that, it'll pick up every PO item. If you have 50, it'll pick up all 50. If you got 2, it'll pick up 2. So I'm going to say OK. Okay, this one's a little bit faster. Okay, you see we got the PO item number 10, PO item number 20. But you see these two addresses are different. And this is what I ran into on our customer, that no matter what I did, I could never make these addresses the same. Sometimes I could get it almost to work, and sometimes I would think it was working, and I would do another test and it would fail. So this is the point where I came back to every time to see what this looked like. So let's go back to our BAPI. Okay, we're going to fix it with our BAPI. And let it load up. So I'm going to put the number here we had, paste. And the only thing I really have in here is deliver address names, attention adjusting. Everything else is default except for attention adjusting. So I'm just going to delete the log file here, clear contents. And I really like the way the studio works here too. I can run everything within. I don't have to load up the Excel file, take a look at it, and I don't have to go back and forth between transaction and query. Everything's right here at your fingertips. So this is a really nice system to work on. Okay, run test. And again, we're acting a little bit slow on this one, but it will come up. Okay, so we got through it and made changes. Looks okay, but we need to go back and I will double check that through the query itself. See what happened there. Okay, we'll run this. Your test. Put the same PO item number in there, number 31. It's not null, let's go get all the PO items. I hit OK. Okay, this looks good. You see that both addresses look the same. We go back to SAP. I'm going to reload again just to refresh it. Number 31. Go to print preview. And our print preview is back. Looks good. Justin will get all his yogurt he ordered, and he would be happy, and I will be happy too. So good shape there. Okay. Pretty much the demo for showing you how that works. The next thing I want to show you how to actually create the BAPI. And that's probably be the most interest to you. You go to New. I'm going to select Direct. I'm going to select Create from BAPI. And now hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. This will be on the net Tara will is making a recording, and you'll be able to look at it in more detail there. Any questions you have after that, you can email me. Any help I can give you, I'd be glad to. Data type we're using is Excel. So what we're going to do now is create the script. And this is a lot simpler than the Studio 10 that has a lot more steps involved to create a BAPI. For this one, it's pretty straightforward. It's no problem at all. So first thing what we want to do is search for a BAPI. And I know I want to do a BAPI. I want to do a PO. Suppose I don't remember the name, so I can do a search, BAPI PO. Okay, need to put the star. They don't recognize it if you don't put the wildcard in. So what we want to do is run a BAPI PO change. Double click that. Okay, it's out getting the table structures now. It's a lot of tables, and it takes a while to actually go through all the tables. But once you find the tables you need, it's not hard to set up at all. It does download some documentation for you. I put a link to Winshuttle's, at the end of the presentation, Winshuttle's has a direct presentation, and they do it in 10. They also show you a lot about the documentation that you can use. One thing I mentioned before, you want to hit commit required, or else your table won't save. Okay, I've been through this before. The first time I went through it, it took me a while to find exactly what I needed to set. Input structures, export to others. I would have never known that was for the purchase order. So I had to go through and just kind of look at the different tables, and it took a while to do that. But once you find it, you've got it, and you won't have to worry about that again. So pretty much this is my header here, the purchase document number. Next thing we want to go to is PO address delivery, and that's the only thing I'm care about changing at this point. But you see all these tables, you can do many things with this. One of the things you can do, I did before too, is within the PO you have, in the header you have different headers. You have shipping tables or text boxes, and it's like 10 different text boxes or a header text you can do. So you can do that within this too. So if you ever need to do that, it was very hard to do in an standard ME21, either a batch or non-batch. So this gives you a lot of options to if you want to do some things special or different. Okay, this is a PO address delivery. You definitely need to have the PO item, because it's going to know which address you're working with or which item you're working with. Name 1, which is the company you're shipping to. Name 2, that was the attention to I had. City, and whichever one of these codes you need. City code, city postal code, this one we used. What else? Street we used. Street number and house number. Then you can go on down. Let's see what else we could do. We could do country, language. Normally your language is already default, so you don't have to worry about that. Region, this is where you put your state, California, Virginia, or whatever you want to have. The country is always, for us, is always U.S. And pretty much you select which fields you want to set up. Okay, the next fields I did, which I didn't have to do, but I just want to show you how they worked. It's PO item, and it's PO item here. I selected this, and anything down here, if you want to change some other things, you can. Say I want to change material, I could do that. But I would also have to go into PO item X and do the same fields. PO item X, and I believe it's material. I selected whichever one I selected. I could go back to. Just double check that PO item. And that was material I selected. PO item X, I would select that too. So anything you select in the item, you want to select item X too. Like I said, I didn't need to do that for this particular PO change. I wanted to show you how you would do that if you needed to do that. So, okay, I think I've got all the fields here I needed. So, get ready to map, you just hit map. And I like to go to expert view. It's just easier to see everything. Okay, log, always like to take to column A, and I explained that before, that sometimes when you add fields or delete fields, your log keeps moving all around. For me, it's just easier to see in the left-hand column, and that's user preference. That's not a big deal. Okay, you got 3 loops here. Okay, I like to take care of these loops before I do anything. You don't have to, but this is the way I like to do it. So the first loop is going to go to column B. Normally in my first loop, I just like to have header and data. Okay. Okay, you see ID column here. Second loop, C, I like to do header 1, header 2. Again, your preference has to be a unique name, but you can call it what you need. And D, which would be this guy, I would call it header 2 and header 1, or header data 2, I'm sorry. And okay, and if that looks okay, we can do that. Then you can go back and map, just like you normally would map your fields. This PO address, PO number is right here. Again, that's going to be your header, and this is where you drop your PO number. Next thing I would add is this PO address delivery is your item number, which is here. And then your name. Then you go on through like that. Once you get to this table, you have an item number. So I would map that to F also. Because the item number is going to be the same. So this is marked F, and this one's marked F. Same thing on the third one. I want to make this item F. So I would drag F up to that. So when I completed my recording, I would have in this column, in the header column, it's hard to see, get that thing to look just right. Sorry. I would put my header here, which is the PO number, and I'll put my item numbers at this point. If I had 2 item numbers, I would make this D2, D2, D2 on down. And this should be, I'm sorry, this should have been a D2 also. I can fix that. You probably saw that and didn't tell me. Okay, so we get that fixed. Okay, so you can, as many items as you want down here, you go data, 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 data 2, or data 1, and I still messed that up. So we're going to fix that again. Okay, now we got it right, so we can do all that. One thing particular about item X, so if I was using material number, I would have mapped that wherever I needed it. This item needs to be a static field, a fixed value. This needs to be a capital X. Capital X here. And if you're using material, you want it capital X here. This is part of the BAPI format. I'm not sure why it was programmed like that, but we're trying to follow the program rules that were set up for the BAPI. And this kind of makes it easier for you to actually create a BAPI within Direct or within the studio. So after you map this, I won't go through the whole complete mapping and rerun this again, but you saw how it all worked. You see how it all maps. And I'll just bring this down a little bit. Well, follow up, I'd like to let you know that the Winshuttle does have some videos you can look at. The best one I found was on Direct Basics, and it goes through all the things I went through, except it's in Studio 10. They gave you a little bit more on the details of the documentation you can find, and I would suggest you actually go through that. I'll go through that today for just keep it brief. One of the things I did when I first started playing with Direct, I did an SE37 transaction. You can Google that and you'll find a lot of information on SE37. You find out the fields you mark with an X. Everything is pretty much what you see in the BAPI. And it's a good place to start if you just want to research and have a little bit of fun with BAPIs. That's a place to go. So I just hope you got a little bit out of this. Any questions that we'll try to answer. If we can't get it on the line right now, I'll be glad to email you. You're welcome to email me. Mike Caldwell at clearprocesssolutions.com. I do my best to help you whatever you need help with on the BAPI. And I'm going to turn it over to Tara, and I'd like to thank you all for your attention, and I hope you gained another tool for your toolbox, and happy BAPing.
Thank you so much, Mike. That was really informative. Does anyone have any questions? You can type them into the question box. Okay, it doesn't look like it. Could you go to the next slide, please, Mike? Oh, our events are not showing up, but we have an upcoming, there they are, a WUG at the Radisson Hotel in Wisconsin. That's coming up on April 27th. After that, we will have a Lean Utopia event, an after party. Then on Tuesday, September 18th and Wednesday, September 19th is the WUG annual conference, which is going to be in Atlanta. And then in October, we are having a WUG and a Lean Utopia after party at the Gervasi Winery, which is down near Canton, Ohio. So if you want to register for any of those events or learn more about them, go to clearprocesssolutions.com. You can go to the next one, Mike. Okay, and this is the CPS Solution Care. Anyone who is viewing this today, you can get 5 free hours of Solution Care. Just email solutioncare@clearprocesssolutions.com. It's really a great resource for your company. We can help you with any issues you're having with Winshuttle, help you with upgrades, installations, everything that you can think of. Okay. And just a little more about CPS. We were the 2015 and 2016 Winshuttle Partner of the Year. We also have a lot more coming with Process BI. And that is about it. I think we are finished. Mike, good job. Again, if there's any questions, please reach out to CPS and we can help you. And this will be up on YouTube shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.